Okay guys, so I've had a few you request that we do some cool down and stretching with suspension cables. Now normally when we teach in my studio, the instructor in-house actually does those, which is why we don't normally produce them for you guys on YouTube. However, I'm going to give you a bunch of cool down stretches to do with your suspension cables now, so you could incorporate those into your suspension training. It doesn't matter whether you're using the long bar or if you're using handles, the stretches work with both systems. So what I'm going to get you to do is, let's start to work our way back. And from here, I'm marginally suspended. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a posterior stretch. So I'm just going to go toes right up and I'm going to fold over just like this. Okay, so knees are staying straight and my arms are staying soft straight as well. So from here, I'm feeling it in my plantaris in the back of the knees right here. And it's working its way up and I'm getting it to the middle of my spine as well. So let's just hold that position for a moment and get a nice stretch out of that. Good. Now once you're comfortable with this stretch, what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to step back slightly, ever so slightly, and we're going to go back into it again. It's going to feel marginally different. Relaxing from there. Now what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go one ankle over my knee. We're going to go into a glute stretch. So I'm just going to drop down, dropping down. Now as I drop my bum down, I'm leaning forward. Okay, so the more I can lean forward, the more I'm going to get that stretch in the glutes out here. Okay, so let's work through those for a moment. So dropping my bum down, leaning forward, getting that nice stretch there. And when you're ready, we're just going to lift up. I'm going to change it up to the other side. So ankle over the knee, dropping right down. And if you're more flexible, go further down. Further down. It just depends on how flexible you are. We're going to hold it there for a moment. Relaxing slowly. For this next one, I'm just going to use the loops, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go forearm to forearm just like this. I'm going to turn away and I'm going to walk my way right out, okay? Almost like a front stance, and I'm just going to push forward, okay? And just allow my elbows to ride back, but I'm keeping my arms upright. Okay, getting that nice chest stretch from here. Hold it for a moment. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to suspend myself. I want to make sure I'm pushing out. And to change it up, I'm just going to extend my arms into a T and I'm going to keep pushing. And let's relax for a moment. From here, we're going to go into a shoulder stretch, a deltoid stretch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold on to the cables with one arm. I'm going to swing and wrap around myself like this. Now what you want to try and do is you want to try and keep this elbow as straight as you can keep it. I'm going to wrap around and grab my other shoulder. Just hold it there for a moment. So if you're doing this correctly, you're going to feel it not just in your medial delts, but it's going to work its way all the way to your rhomboids. You're going to get it right to the middle of your back. And quite simply, just going to grab with the other hand, switch my positions and work from there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm kind of pulling out and rotating at the same time. Right there, so I can really feel this one. And let's relax for a moment. Okay, next we're going to go into a single arm Y stretch. So the way we're going to do it, I'm going to push my arm out at 45 degrees up there, and I'm going to use my chest and twist in the opposite direction, just like that. So really just turning my back towards you guys and getting a really good chest stretch from there. Okay, the arms got to stay 45 degrees. You want to try and get that right in the middle of your chest. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to switch hands, switch feet as well. So you got the opposite leg in front. And let's go. And let's relax for a moment. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to let one of my cables go. Okay? And I'm going to hold both. I'm going to use both hands to hold on to just one handle. And what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to drop down. Okay, so from here, dropping right down, and then I'm going to straighten myself back out. So getting a really good stretch in the rotator cuffs from here. So a lot of the exercises that you do incorporate a lot of pressure on your rotator cuff. So using this exercise, we're just stretching it right out. So from here, once I've got one knee down, I'm just going to straighten myself back out. Depends on your flexibility. If you're very flexible, you'll be able to go straighten up a lot more than I am. Good, and relaxing slowly. Okay, from here, I'm just going to grab both my handles, and we're going to go into our rolling adductor stretch. So a really, really wide squat from here, and I'm going to drop to one side just like this. Now I want to make sure I've got one foot perpendicular to the other. So one's pointing at you guys, the other one's pointing sideways. And from here, to really get this stretch, I'm going to start to lean forward. Okay, so as I start to lean forward, I'm really getting it right here in the adductors inside your legs. Hold that position for a moment. And I'm just slowly gonna switch to the other side. We wanna get equal amount of stretch on both sides. So once I'm in position again, so getting down into this position, I'm already feeling the adductors really stretching. And then to emphasize the stretch, I'm just gonna start to lean forward. And relaxing. Okay, from here I'm going to turn to the side. I'm going to go into a letter C stretch. So the way I'm going to do this one, I'm going to go one foot over the other, just like this, and I'm going to drop my hip right out. Okay, so as my hip starts to drop out, you can really feel it in my lats and also feel it in my obliques and my hips as well. Okay, what you don't want to do with this one, guys, you don't want to be too close. You don't want to be out here. It's going to put a lot of pressure on your shoulders. So to get the benefits of the stretch, I'm just going to step out a little bit more and do it from there. And it's just a matter of twisting, crossing over, and hitting the other side as well. Okay, for this next stretch, we're just going to hold on to the top of the cable for support, and I'm just going to go into a basic quadricep stretch. So just like that, I'm going to grab my ankle and bring my heel all the way to my bum. I want to push my hip out and just hold that position, okay? Just going to hold it like this for a little bit, and then what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start to lean forward, but as you lean forward, you've got to lift your knee right up. So there's no point in leaning forward if you're knee doesn't come up, right there. Let's just hold that for a moment. And I'm gonna go back to this position. Now I wanna stretch my shin out the same way, so I'm gonna change my hand position. I'm gonna grab the top of my toes and I'm gonna squeeze from here. So same position. Now I'm gonna really feel it in my shins as well. Just there. Good, let's change them up. Let's try the other side. So basic quadricep stretch to start with. Heels connected with the bum, hips are out. Just hold on to it. And let's hold on to that for a moment. And we're gonna start to lean forward. Now remember to lift that knee right up. And a mistake people make is as you start to lean forward, you start to let that hand go, okay? So you gotta make sure the heel stays right up against your bum the whole time. Okay, so just squeezing from there and just using the cable for a bit of support. And working my way back. I'm gonna change my hand position, so I'm just gonna go over my toes and I'm gonna push from there. Okay, really getting that nice shin stretch as well. Good, let's change them up. One last stretch. So from here, I'm just gonna use the cables again for a little bit of support. Just down there, that's fine. I'm gonna just start to work some splits. So just nice and slow. Now go as far as you are comfortable going. Okay, so if you're pretty flexible, just go further. If not, you wanna make sure you're still hanging on to, your weight's hanging on to those cables because you can assist and you can pull yourself back up when you need to. So just hold on to that. Yeah, I'm just gonna come up slowly. There you have it, guys. You're all stretched out. Thank you very much.